Now with the most local news, this is 8 News Now, live local now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here at 2 o'clock. We made it. I'm Ozzy Mora.
We made it to Tuesday?
We made it to 2 o'clock.
I'm Kirsten Joyce. Yeah, good point.
Right?
Good point on that, yes.
Were you able to catch the blood moon?
God, no. I was sleeping. What about you?
You know what? I set my alarm, I put snooze, and that was the end of it. And then I woke up. And I scrolled through social media, and that was fantastic. That was beautiful.
Well, you had the best intentions. We're going to be sharing some of those photos with you
Sure
a little bit later on during our streaming, but we'll get to the nitty-gritty first, right, Ozzy?
First. Let's get to
All
that.
right. So our top story this afternoon, police investigating the death of a woman and a young child. This happened in the south part of town. Last night about 9 p.m., officers were responding to an unrelated traffic stop. They heard what they determined to be shots ringing out in an area. They went to investigate. They drove to Star Avenue and Dean Martin Drive, found a vehicle with bullets in that vehicle. Upon further investigation, found the woman and the young child inside had also been shot. They were rushed to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. Our reporter Joshua Piguero is following the story very closely. He confirms for us through the family's attorney, that the victim is Denasia Robinson. Family has started a GoFundMe for this young woman who they describe as such a kind heart, an infectious laugh, wicked sense of humor, and lovely creativity. The family, through the GoFundMe, saying she was selflessly shot while watching a friend's child. We, of course, will have more details tonight and, of course, have all those details about the GoFundMe on our website at 8newsnow.com, Ozzy.
Yeah, and again, this is an investigation, so if you know anything, please contact Crime Stoppers. Let's go to the war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran. It's entering its fourth day. In the Oval Office earlier today, well, this is Senator Mark Rubio. We'll get to that right now. President Donald Trump doubled down on his launch on Operation Epic Fury, claiming that without intervention, the region was headed for, in quote, a nuclear war. He also told reporters that Iran was on the verge of taking out multiple countries, making the strike basically a necessity. So here's what we know. The war is no longer in Iranian borders, okay? Israel has officially sent troops to Lebanon, and the ripples are just now being felt across the Gulf. So one drone hit a parking lot at the U.S. consulate today, sparking a fire, and Senator Mark Rubio came out and said no one was hurt. An Iranian attack killed 6 U.S. troops. That is confirmed. Others seriously hurt. U.S. embassies, like in Beirut, shut their doors. And then the Strait of Hormuz will be heavily impacted due to its status as a critical global oil. And not only that, but this is also a pathway for food and agriculture as well. So it's going to cause a disruption there. President Donald Trump also announcing on Truth Social that the Navy will begin escorting tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. So again, a vital artery of 20% of the world's oil that kind of goes through there as well. And again, Secretary of State Marco Rubio attempted to clarify his remarks he made Monday. He essentially blamed Israel for dragging the U.S. into this military strike action with Iran, saying the decision to strike down. He came back and he said it was basically President Donald Trump that made that decision. So now we go to basically markets in turmoil.
Yeah, well, of course, that everyone reacting, the markets indeed. The Dow slid some 351 points as of about an hour ago. The S&P 500, NASDAQ dropping about 0.9 and 1% respectively. The question is the world's oil supply. As you mentioned, that waterway, roughly 20% of the world's oil supply goes through there. The oil prices did retreat a bit after President Donald Trump came out on Truth Social promising that the Navy would start escorting the tankers through that waterway, easing fears of that major global supply shock. But you've got investors that are also dealing with the uncertainty over who will fill that leadership vacuum in Iran. Which leads us into our next story. It's been 3 weeks since the partial government shutdown over DHS funding. And during this time, Ozzy, TSA agents have gone unpaid. The longer this goes on, the worse it makes for circumstances. You can imagine people start thinking about their job. How are they going to make money? Are they going to transition into something else? And as this military conflict in Iran unfolds, lawmakers are concerned that this could pose some new security risks to our U.S. airports should TSA workers start calling out. The president of the Union for TSA Workers believes that these agents should be getting paid during a partial or full government shutdown. Today, Homeland Security Secretary Kirsten testifying, grilled at the Senate hearing by a number of senators. She said the shootings are being investigated, those two individuals who were killed by ICE agents in Minnesota. She exchanged back and forth with a number of senators, including Republican Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina. He claimed that she is pursuing quantity over quality regarding immigration arrests, stalling funds for FEMA. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal pressing her over the citizens detained by federal agents. We do have some sound from him, if we can pull that for our viewers now, Carlos.
Wouldn't you agree that shooting Miramar Martinez on her way to donate clothing at her church, a United States citizen from Chicago, is wrong?
Sir, I don't know the situation or the case. I'll look into it.
Is the agent
when there is something that
who
is not
shot
done
Ms.
properly?
Martinez still on the job carrying a gun?
I don't know the details. I will find out and get that information to you.
And these hearings will continue, and we will continue to keep you updated.
Yeah, and Senator Cory Booker also came out and told Kirsten, you should step down. And she came back and said, in quote, thanks for the encouragement, basically, something we'll keep an eye on. So local motorcycle riders, let's bring it back home, are being reminded that when it comes to stopping, you need to stop with both of your brakes, because I guess that's not happening right now. And that is a major problem. So this was a demonstration Ryan Tizmaneski attended yesterday with Metro and other experts out there. I believe the College of Southern Nevada, CSN, there we go, Daryl's telling me that. The Las Vegas Metro Police and team over at CSN are seeing this scary trend. Riders in the valley are relying way too much on the rear brakes, and that's because many of them are saying they're afraid. And they're afraid that the front brake, they'll kind of tip over and they'll fall. So, but they basically, Metro's saying, don't worry about that. It's going to take practice. So here's the science behind this. When you slow down, the weight of the bike actually shifts forward. And that's what the experts are telling us. And that means all of your stopping power is in that front wheel. So if you use the back, you're going to slide. Okay, so that's what they're trying to explain. Metro, CSN, they're also saying if you are a rider, you just have to practice, go in a safe parking lot, take your time. And even if you're experienced, it's always good to practice and, be up to date with the safety requirements on our roads when it comes to motorcyclists. Kirsten.
Good tips. We have another injury at the indoor trampoline park, Spy Ninjas. Jessamine Woke joins us live in studio with the latest after talking to another man. Jessamine.
So Kirsten, this is a father who actually reached out after seeing our first story. His injury happened before Knox's. His happened in October. He said that he was on the trampoline and he nicked his head on the support beam, and he was here showing us his scar still months later. Now, when we talk about Spy Ninjas, we've been talking about how the zip line incident happened, but it's an indoor park, so there's other obstacles, right? There were trampolines, there were obstacle courses, axe throwing, and this father told me that he was victim to the trampoline.
So if you're just joining us right now, Jessamine has been working on several stories in regard to Spy Ninjas. The first one she talked about was on Buffalo and Sahara, and that was about a 10-year-old Knox, like you mentioned, that fell off from that zip line 20 feet, hit his head. He was recovering at last check. And Jessamine also received a statement from Spy Ninjas in regards to that incident. So what is the next story that you have to talk to us about that you're kind of teasing for later on?
So this story is not over.
Right.
More of you continue to reach out to me on social media with new developments, and now we do have new documents regarding Spy Ninjas. We can't get into it yet because we do have a journalistic responsibility to verify, but what we have right now is in regards to funding and a little bit more behind the leadership, because what we know so far is that it's YouTube stars who are in charge, but it goes further than that. And we did reach out to Spy Ninjas, like Ozzy mentioned. They did give us update that The zipline course has been closed since the incident for Knox while they undergo inspection, and they are having their staff going through an intensive training. I did reach out to them about the second case on the father, and they have not gone back to me yet about that. So we'll see how this all continues to develop.
Thank you so much. If you have not been to Spy Ninjas, it's massive zip line, concrete on the floor, axe throwing, arcade, you name it. A lot of families go there as well. You also brought up that they usually signed a waiver to Kirsten for that. All right, let's go to our question of the day. And this has to do with Nevada Reading Week. Kirsten?
Yeah, that is happening this week. We're going to tell you where you can donate some books as well. That's all coming up. But in the meantime, what is your favorite genre? Weigh in. Looks like fiction's leading, but we'd like to hear from you. So please scan that QR code. And again, we'll be back with more information on where you can donate some of your used books. And plenty more. Oh, the lunar eclipse too. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Great
we'll
photos.
talk about, oh, yeah, I'm excited for that. By the way, I love horror. Just throwing that out there. All right, guys, stay with us.
Now with the most local news, this is 8 News Now, live local now.
Hi, everyone. How are you all doing? Let me look outside. Oh, it's a little sunny. I have not stepped outside, so I want to make sure before I said something. Woke up to clear skies this morning. Hopefully you caught the blood moon. We'll get to that in a little bit. With that, let's send it over to Nate Tannenbaum.
All right, so before we get to the leftover breezy conditions and temperatures dropping a little bit, wanted to have a look back at an hour or two ago on Kyle Canyon up towards Mount Charleston. Did you see skywriting? I can't tell that they're writing anything that we need to look at. The camera will come back here in just a second or so. The bottom line, let's talk about cooler air that is sliding into southern Nevada as a result of the very strong winds that we had, and this is bringing the high temperatures down a little bit. Your weather headlines go like this: just breezy, but in the next couple of days the wind is going to pick up again. The temperature roller coaster for sure going down, and yet another of the many reminders of setting your clocks ahead Saturday night, the ones that don't do it automatically. So we're going to go for 75 today after 59 earlier this morning, so this is still way above normal. On the 8-day forecast, you'll see the daytime highs maybe slipping back closer to normal. Let's see what we got going on out there. The next system is coming on shore right now in the Pacific Northwest. The system we had causing snow for southern Wyoming, northern Colorado. A mix of rain, snow, and ice moving into the mid-Atlantic and New England states. Now your most accurate 8-day forecast. Maybe some clouds. Here's the wind coming back again Thursday and Friday. Look at the high temps, maybe dipping below normal. There's your move forward. You're springing forward your clock Saturday night into Sunday as the Streamcast rolls on.
Reminder to get a nap in. Thank you, Nate. So if you were up at 3 in the morning, hopefully it wasn't
Hopefully you weren't.
It wasn't because of insomnia.
You're going to see the video now of the total lunar eclipse that Ozzy set her alarm for, but didn't wake up for.
No, I was like, that's gorgeous.
It's so cool. Oh
that
my gosh.
That is beautiful.
All right, let's tell them what it is. The planet blocks most of the sun's light from hitting the moon during a total lunar eclipse. The light that does hit the lunar surface gets filtered through a slice of Earth's atmosphere, causing the moon to turn a deep reddish orange, the nickname blood moon.
That's right. And this is going to be, 3 years? Before you were able to see this again, New Year's Eve. So that was the last time, but it's okay. There's a lot of images on social media, and you can still actually send in your images if you would like. Hopefully we can air them during our 4, 5 p.m., 11 maybe possibly, but we have the information on our website. And you didn't need that fancy equipment to look up at the blood moon. And also the Sphere highlighted it as well during the morning show, Good Day Las Vegas. So that was pretty cool to see. Nice. The Sphere being participating in that.
And like you said, next time, New Year's Eve 2028.
2028. Set your alarms, okay? All right, let's go to the 7-hour cliffhanger. So a rock climber in Red Rock Canyon. So Red Rock Canyon, it's dangerous, especially with the wet, is it called sand something? Yeah, I was reading about that. But anyways, it could be, there we go, sandstone, is that what you said? Yeah, when it's wet sandstone, it can be extremely dangerous. So let's get back to the story. So a climber is lucky to be alive today after he says a fluke accident. So he was prepared. He was ready. He basically plunged nearly 50 feet, down a cliffside. This happened Saturday afternoon. The climber was on a route called Dream Safari, which is pretty popular. He was 600 feet above the ground when a piece of his safety gear actually snapped. So something happened, and that's when he plunged. That's very, very scary. He suffered severe head and back injuries, but there was a nearby guide, thank goodness, who stepped in and helped out and knew what to do. They called Metro and rescuers as well. Metro Search and Rescue, there we go. They do a lot, and they conduct a lot of these rescues, and they made it out. They actually had to go down the cliff and actually bring the titanium stretcher that we see sometimes and put him on there. And they had to bring him down several stations slowly before they made it to the ground. So it was a huge effort, and it took 7 hours, okay? You need to do this because you need to be safe about it, right? The climber, Kirsten, actually went on social media, on Instagram. He thanked everybody, and he also told everyone that you need to be careful no matter how experienced you are. He had all the proper equipment. His helmet was annihilated, but that's actually what saved his life, is what he was saying, Kirsten. So I'm glad he's okay. The climber, she or he.
Jeez Louise. Thanks, Ozzy. Well, it turns out all these people wanted was a patio cover for less, and it was a scam which cost local customers, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. 2 years later, some of the victims finally getting reimbursed thanks to a state fund. But here's pictures here. Ryan Vizzolo and Amy Rush. They're accused of scamming dozens of individuals, dozens of locals through their company, Patio Covers for Less. Vizzolo pleading not guilty to the criminal charges. His trial postponed. Meanwhile, she will appear in court in August. The State Contractors Board, if you're looking to get some work done, reminding homeowners, never pay a contractor in cash. Always check with the BBB. We have a link to verify their contractor license and insurance, all those important things. You can go to our website right now, 8newsnow.com, under the story, where you can verify all that information to make sure that they are licensed before employing them to do your work. And references. I mean, that's how we get a lot of the people we get is from people who've had good quality work done and people who don't skip out on the work.
And calling other people, right, just to make sure if they got the work done. So that full article on our website if you want to learn more about that. But stay with us. We're talking about remarkable women reading and writing. We'll be right back.
Now with the most local news, this is 8 News Now, live local now.
We were saying during the break we haven't seen Daryl yet. Let's pull Daryl in for the question of the day.
Come on,
Yes.
Daryl.
Hey, good afternoon, you two.
Hi.
We were asking what was your favorite genre in light of Nevada Reading Week, and we put a bunch of genres up there for you, and fiction is the big winner. And it was, I will say, it was tricky to sort of, because, you know, a couple of things count as fiction. I was like, do I go sci-fi, fantasy, historical? And I was like, okay, nonfiction/fiction covers quite a bit, but thank you all for participating.
What are you into?
More biographies, biographical stories, or like, you know, time period, or like, let's revisit this. I'll read a book about
History.
that.
Wow.
That made it, that dressed up old sports books. Very, very fancy.
And
But-
sports.
Or about a person, about a figure. You know, I'll try to read about that.
Very
Oh, that's
impressive.
good. I'm reading The Silent Patient right now.
I read that a couple years ago. You will enjoy that.
Yeah, I just bought that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And we were talking about it has to do with this famous painter that basically murders her husband and she stays quiet about it. And some psychologist or something like that tries to make her talk about it or something.
Yes.
So I'm not going to spill the beans. I just want to share
You
it.
can't. She's only gotten to page 1.
Just page
But she will enjoy that
I
book.
will.
I, too, love my thrillers. I
Yeah.
wouldn't put horror because that's more like kill,
The
kill, kill.
morning crew was team horror.
Yeah.
That's
R.L.
me,
Stein
too.
and-
Thriller.
Yeah.
I think more thriller, like, murder mysteries or, yeah.
Slash. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our conversation. Just scan that QR code, take a picture of it. I know it's a little tiny, but that's the way how you could participate
Yes.
with us. All right, let's get to it now. Nevada Reading Week. Some good news there to wrap up the show. The power of a good book. Okay, that is one of the school board members there, Irene Bustamante, reading for Nevada Reading Week. We participate actually We go to schools as well and read to the kids. It's always such a great time. It takes place this week with the theme Book and Adventure. Do you get it? And this is to inspire the reading in students statewide. I've done several stories where I've seen basically the numbers of rates of students drops, when it comes to reading. And that's important to get books into the hands of these kids. United Way is actually an organization that does a lot for the Valley as well. We talk about them a lot, Dress for Success, and they help with pre-K programs and et cetera. They're actually looking for book donations right now to help our local K through 5 students. And I did not write down the locations, so this is where Kirsten's going to help me out with that, where you can drop off those books.
Yes, and they want no broken bindings, no missing pages or scribbles, all right? We say gently used. You can drop off between now and March 6th at 3 different locations. Go check your closet, your kids' bins. United Way of Southern Nevada off of Flamingo, Nevada Rise Academy off of Emerson Ave, and Vegas Vista Academy off North Rancho. Those 3 locations. Ozzy, you and I get involved with this every year. We love the hundreds of nominations that come in for remarkable women making such a difference in our community. And we do want to let you know we have established the winner who will represent Southern Nevada and go on to Nashville for the big reveal and the big choose of who's going to be our nationwide winner. And this is Elizabeth Airway. Congratulations to her. Dedicates her days to service, true support for families across our community. Her main job is working with military children here in Nevada, but her community reach, of course, spreads much further. She serves as the lead child and youth program coordinator for the Nevada National Guard. She plans events. She plans get-together, future career prep for these children, support for the kids and the families dealing with deployment. She's incredible. You can watch her story. She was interviewed by Sasha. That's tonight on 8 News Now at 4. It's also on our website, 8newsnow.com. And then I'll be profiling a wonderful woman who also gives back with her cookie baking and her inspiration through that and how she's helping those in the community. And you've got a lovely woman that you've profiled, Ozzy.
Yep, covering, focusing on mental health and just focusing on the whole person. So we have those stories coming out soon.
Yes.
I love highlighting these incredible women. All of us are incredible. But it's always good to highlight them. And she'll be heading up to Nashville, you mentioned that, and with a $25,000 donation toward a charity of her choice. So that's the big winner, though. Okay. Locally, though, they do get some money, too. But anyways, you can read that story or watch our newscast tonight. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. You guys are amazing. Step outside, enjoy the day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.